Well, good morning again. I'm just happy to have another chance to talk about peace. And again, I know there's a lot of pleasant comments, and I appreciate that. Thank you. I was thinking about then steadfastness compared to our ways of easily being all for something and then dismayed so easily, and how one day we can be, yes, I'm going to do this, and then the next day is, no, what was I thinking? I'm not going to do this. And is human and natural, but not ultimately not a good way to walk through life. And so one of the great pieces in my life is the steadfastness of God. And sometimes I just like to think about a word for a long time, and steadfast is a word I might take with me on a hike. I love to hike, I'm up on M Hill every day, winter, spring, summer, almost every day. And you see steadfastness, sometimes it's just this miserable hike and it's cold and the wind is, and yet every spring it is so beautiful. And now particularly flowers are coming out, and I know there are more crummy days coming and hot days and cold days, and I know next spring the flowers will be coming out. And it's just a simple example of steadfastness. But if you don't appreciate the good times when you're going through the bad ones, you lose that steadfastness. And a lot of people say, well, this too shall pass. And I don't know, because it will come around again. And we're safe because God is steadfast. What I think about is, I've been wondering, to be honest, why I love peace so much. I know I've shared a little from my childhood was not peaceful, and that's fine. Everybody goes through all sorts of difficult things, and I used to hear, in church from the Bible this and from the Bible that, and to be honest, I couldn't equate what I was hearing with what I was living, so this was disconcerting to me, and then I started to read the Bible. I think I was maybe in my 30s or 40s. And I found in the Bible so much more than you hear, even in church, or when someone is quoting Bible to you, it's almost like it's a weapon. And it's not. There's so much in the Bible that we never hear that is so essential, that so speaks to the steadfastness of God, the constant forgiveness, the way God teaches experientially. You learn, and if you stumble, he has your hand. It says that in the Bible, and if you stumble, he has your hand. So expect to stumble, and expect other people to stumble. I don't think there's anything in the world that isn't in the Bible. I was thinking about Ecclesiastes, is it a time for war, a time for peace, a time for love, a time for hate. What is new in this world, right, that we don't experience? But I think if you read the Bible, because it's very calming, it's very soothing, you will find little things here and there throughout the whole Bible that just, they just say, thank you, it's just what I needed to hear. And not so much what comes from other people, but you talk to God, and God is going to talk to you, and it's beautiful. And so when the things are tough, okay, then the things are going to be good. Either way, you're still safely in God's hands. But you really have to believe that. You cannot look to the world for proof of God. You have proof of God, and then you can look to the world and see. So I think that always faith is a one-on-one. And I think this is where my peace came from, because I can reconcile now. I can't explain many of the things I've gone through, but I can live with them. And I'm not, I'm good. I'm grateful almost for them. When we talked about the sacrifice of thanksgiving, I'm grateful almost for everything that's happened, because here I sit and I know God holds my hand. And after this, I'm going to go for a hike. I was hiking yesterday, and there were more kids up there, and they were on bikes, and they were the most friendly kids. Most kids are so friendly. They say, hi, how are you? And you step back, and they zoom by, and they're squealing. They are so happy. And I'm thinking, this is going to be a part of their life, this joy of being out in nature with the flowers and the birds, because our brain registers everything, not just the thing we're thinking about, but whatever's going on, our brain is recording all of that, becomes the memory. And I think this is then a very good thing, and then these kids will probably have a deeper appreciation for nature and maybe take better care of it because they got out in it and they enjoyed it, and then they would want that joy for other people. So good and bad is always in God's hands. This is the steadfast love of God. I think people should read the Bible, but I think they should read it because they're just looking to understand all the conflicts in life, the wheat and the tares. We all have that in us. And the world doesn't make sense, and the world says, oh, you should never be done changing. And I think that is so unsettling to me, that I should always be changing, and yet God says he is steadfast. And I think you have to grab a hold of God, or you put up your hand and he'll take it. And then when the good things come and the bad things come, you are going to be the same person. You don't have to change for every situation. But if you go with God, you're going to be just right in every situation. And again, that gets rid of fear. We cannot fear the world. But I fear God because he holds me together sanely. And without that, to be honest, I don't know what would happen. It would be undesirable, to say the least. Anyway, so steadfastness, and I love peace because of what I've lived through and then what I found in the Bible. Not so much what people told me is in the Bible, but what I found. Sometimes big things, sometimes little things. The other day I was reading, and God's talking to the Israelites. They're complaining during the Exodus, and he asks them, he goes, did you not notice that your sandals and your robes never wore out for 40 years walking in the desert? And I'm thinking, wow, how could you not notice that? I go through a pair of shoes every couple of months. And just little things like that. And they're all through the Bible. They're not in one place. You have to immerse yourself in the whole beautiful story. Anyway, I hope you can get out on a hill and get into nature. And the steadfast love of God is the name of the song that I would like to sing. It's a beautiful piece. It's from a book we used to use in this church, Sing and Rejoice. I know there are still some people around who put that book together for us, and we still use it because some music is absolutely timeless. The steadfast love.
Know the Lord.
said to me, I will restore you. So be glad, trust the Lord, steadfast love surrounds you. Thanks very much for listening. Bye.